What force allowed a tiny, rainy island to command the destiny of nearly 500 million people across 6 continents? At its zenith, Britannia's reach was so vast that somewhere in its realm, the sun perpetually shone. As Big Ben chimed midnight in London, morning broke over Pacific Islands. As darkness fell on Indian spice markets, Canadian traders awoke to dawn. But what hidden costs lay beneath this unprecedented global dominance? How did a nation representing just 1% of the world's population come to control 24% of its land? No matter where the sun was in the sky, it was always shining on a piece of British-controlled land. In this video, we'll dive into how Britain built the largest empire in history and what life was like under its rule. In 1607, the English founded Jamestown, the first permanent British settlement in North America. Meanwhile, in 1600, Queen Elizabeth I granted a royal charter to the British East India Company, a private trading company that would later control vast parts of the Indian subcontinent. The key to Britain's success was its navy. By the late 1600s, England had become a formidable maritime power, defeating the Spanish Armada in 1588 and securing dominance over the seas. This control over naval routes allowed Britain to expand its trade, establish colonies in the Caribbean, and later set its sights on Africa and Asia. At this point, the empire was still in its infancy, but over the next 2 centuries, it would grow into the most powerful force the world had ever seen. North America, the birthplace of British colonialism. One of the first major expansions of the British Empire occurred in North America. The British established the 13 colonies along the East Coast, beginning with Jamestown in 1607 and expanding rapidly. These colonies became economic powerhouses, producing cash crops such as tobacco and cotton, which fueled British industry. Meanwhile, Canada became a key British territory after Britain defeated France in the 7 Years' War, 1756 to 1763. By 1763, the Treaty of Paris gave Britain control over vast French territories in North America. While the American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, led to the loss of the 13 colonies, Britain maintained control over Canada, which would remain a crucial part of the empire. Despite the setback in the American Revolution, Britain was far from done. In fact, its ambitions only grew larger. India, the crown jewel of the British Empire. While North America was important, India was the true centerpiece of British imperialism. Initially ruled through the British East India Company, Britain gradually expanded its control over the Indian subcontinent. Through military conquests, economic exploitation, and political manipulation, Britain took over key territories such as Bengal, 1757, and later expanded its reach across the region. By 1858, following the Indian Rebellion of 1857, the British government officially took direct control, establishing the British Raj. India provided Britain with enormous wealth: tea, cotton, spices, and opium, all of which fueled British industry and trade. The British also built extensive infrastructure, such as railways and telegraph lines. But their rule came at a devastating cost. Famines, heavy taxation, and cultural suppression became the harsh realities of British control. By the late 19th century, Britain turned its attention to Africa. The scramble for Africa saw European powers carve up the continent, and Britain emerged as one of the dominant colonial rulers. The Cape Colony, Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya, and large parts of East Africa came under British rule. One of Britain's most significant moves was securing Egypt and the Suez Canal in 1882, a vital link between Europe and India. The canal allowed Britain to control one of the most strategic trade routes in the world. In southern Africa, Britain fought against the Zulu Kingdom and later the Boer Wars to control valuable diamond and gold mines. The British imposed their rule, but resistance from African leaders and brutal conflicts made colonial rule a challenge. In the late 18th century, Britain laid claim to Australia and New Zealand. Initially used as a penal colony in 1788, Australia quickly became a major British settlement. Its vast lands provided valuable resources such as wool and gold. Similarly, New Zealand was colonized in the early 19th century with the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, 1840, between the British and the Maori people. However, tensions and conflicts over land led to the New Zealand Wars from 1845 to 1872, with Britain asserting dominance. Beyond these regions, Britain also controlled numerous Pacific islands, ensuring its presence in yet another key part of the world. Britain's naval dominance was the backbone of its empire. The Royal Navy, the world's most powerful fleet, secured trade routes, defeated rival powers, and protected British colonies. With advanced warships, superior strategy, and a global network of naval bases, Britain could project its power anywhere in the world. At the same time, the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th century gave Britain an unprecedented advantage. New technologies allowed for mass production, and the empire provided the raw materials, cotton from India, rubber from Africa, and sugar from the Caribbean, to fuel British factories. In return, Britain flooded its colonies with manufactured goods, ensuring economic dependence. This industrial and naval might enable Britain to dominate global trade and politics. Wars were key to Britain's expansion. Some major conflicts included the 7 Years' War, 1756 to 1763. Britain defeated France, gaining Canada and key Indian territories. The Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. Britain became the dominant world power, securing South Africa and the Caribbean. The Opium Wars, 1839 to 1842 and 1856 to 1860. Britain forced China to open markets, gaining Hong Kong. The Boer Wars, 1880 to 1881 and 1899 to 1902. Britain defeated Dutch settlers, securing gold and diamond mines. By the late 19th century, Britain ruled 1/4 of the world, earning the phrase, "the sun never sets on the British Empire." But while it brought trade and modernization, it also led to exploitation and conflict. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us bring more amazing content your way. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching.